Hello everyone, welcome back to Art After Light. It is the last stream of August. We just have 1 week of August left before we hit September. Yeah, I'm like in a weird place where half of me is kind of tired, can't believe my sense of time has already processed like 8 months this year, and the other half of me is like really excited. I don't know about other people, but I feel like September is the month where maybe it's just ingrained in me to anticipate things, because usually like the school year starts around this time, so the anticipation of seeing my friends, going to school, things like that gets really exciting this time of year. So I think my mind is like ready to jump into fall with both feet and do some exciting stuff in the last 4 months of the year. This is probably the most exciting time for me. I find it the most invigorating. You would think at the end of the year I'd be the most burnt out, but it's actually kind of like a good feeling to process, where I feel sort of productive. But yeah, it's just like a weird time this last week of August. Obviously, on the news, we've had some famous people pass away, which is a huge blow, I know, to everyone. So it's a weird moment of like, oh, things environmentally feel good, but you know, there's sadness in the air as well. So yeah, we're gonna start our stream today with a project. For those who noticed, we don't have a reference photo today. It's because we're using our imagination to depict our favorite meals, our favorite food items, and we're going to draw them from memory rather than go by a reference photo. And this is sort of a very loose topic because it's dependent on the person rather than us all following the same image. So it's more of this sort of topic is more, I've decided to call About Me, so that you can draw your own things from memory and things like that, and we get to learn more about who we are as individuals, our likes and dislikes, and yeah, kind of leaves it open to interpretation. So I have my usual stream sketchbook here. Off to the side, I've got some watercolors and some color pencils because I'm going to be doing watercolors today. So we're just gonna open up to some previous Art After Light projects. And yeah, we'll just jump right into the kinds of food that excite you, the kinds of food that makes you excited, happy. I think for me a lot of it is Korean food, since so much of my upbringing and exposure to food at meal times was all Korean. My mom and my grandma cooking. So yeah, it's a lot of my fondest foods are probably going to be that. So we'll start by drawing maybe like one or two of my favorite Korean food items, meal items, and obviously people can draw whatever they reminisce about when they think about their favorite foods. So I think for me it's gonna have to be 𝔸𝕣𝕥, which is translates to tofu stew, and the implication is usually that there is kimchi in it as well. So let's just do a little bit of a drawing. I hope everyone's been having a good end of summer. I'm sorry to those who really enjoy this time of year, who really enjoy the season of summer and are sad about it ending. But it is time for autumn to to begin. It is time for it to properly be some cooler weather. Okay, so here are some little yellow blobs. And then they're usually floating in a stew of red. That's what kimchi jjigae usually ends up looking like. I'm gonna see if I can. Well, I'm trying to see if I can get a better view of this because of how shiny the paint is. It's kind of blurring it out on the camera. Let me try a little bit of experimenting. The light is not like directly on it. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, so autumn is my time to shine. Autumn is my favorite weather, favorite season. It's also when my birthday is. So I'm just kind of coded for cooler seasons. It's also been the last couple days, yesterday especially, and this morning, where the weather was actually properly kind of cool. And it wasn't too hot. This is my first time streaming, I think, without the fan on, which is pretty crazy. Actually trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do for the rest of once autumn properly starts, because unfortunately, even though I would like to just enjoy this season, it's also like the time of year where I want to like maximize what I'm doing. So I always go into the season with a lot of expectation, which I really should manage better, because I would like to just kind of relax and do things at their own pace. Alright, so we've got loads of this tofu just floating in a red sauce, which is what kimchi jjigae usually does. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait to paint the others because the paint is still wet. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna look for my black color pencil, if I can find it. I'm going to draw the pot, the traditional pot that it's usually served in. Yeah, so if anyone goes to like a Korean restaurant, 𝔸𝕤𝕥 𝔸𝕗𝕥 is like, I recommend it, especially if you want something very warm and comforting. Something that'll, oh, I think this black is hiding from me. Something warm, comforting, spicy, hearty. It's especially amazing in the winter time. It's just such a comfort food. It's actually kind of making me hungry for... I probably can make this. I can probably make this like right now. I'm just being lazy. I should have made rice earlier. If I made rice earlier, I would be more incentivized. to cook like a proper dinner. But yeah, it's been a good week so far. I've been sort of half relaxing, half getting stuff done. So this past, as you all know, this past like 2 months have been absolutely just a lot of panic-stricken, really tight deadlines on finishing inventory items for my conventions. So, and it's just been nonstop since June ended, so it's been kind of a crazy time where I couldn't really like do much else besides just make art and try to sell whatever I made. So I have like a proper, before my next 2 markets, I have like proper wiggle room to do other things. So in that interim, I've been saving a lot of stuff on Instagram, because I usually treat my Instagram like it's a classifieds. So I save a lot of posts for things. There's a lot of open calls and sort of information on there that can be really helpful, things that you can apply for. That's how I found out about that fellowship as well, the one that I applied for last month, earlier this month. And yeah, so I just like have been sitting down and properly going through my saved posts on what I've actually would like to do, and just kind of get more direction. And it's everything I save is everything from obviously markets. My algorithm is now sending me a lot of market information, which is helpful, and a lot of the organizations and businesses I follow would put up notice if there's a market or a convention or a pop-up happening, and the deadlines for those. So I would save those. And then sometimes and I've been saving additional stuff beyond just markets and in-person selling. So sometimes I would see notifications for an open call for a magazine, open call submissions for gallery showings, and open calls for artists for any sort of freelance project. So I've saved a lot of those and haven't had a chance to actually properly sit through and properly divert my attention to them, because everything has been focusing on in-person making of inventory and selling. So this kimchi jjigae is almost done. I have to think about my next, not kimchi jjigae, tuba jjigae. I have to think about the next food item I would want to eat. So yeah, I did spend quite a bit of time just going through that information, saving things, and even if it was something that I wouldn't have time to do, or conceptually didn't feel like something I would do, I still save those posts. I still save the business that they're associated with, or the organization they're associated with. There we go. And then I'm going to put little darker red chili flakes inside it too, just for some added texture. So yeah, I actually did submit to an open call for very, very small gallery thing that was happening. Ooh, wonder if that'll show up. It's just like the same red on red, and with these 𝔸𝕣𝕥 watercolors, they're very like dense already, so you don't really layer the way that traditional watercolor does unless it's been washed out. But yeah, I submitted for an open call that was due yesterday. I literally finished it right before the deadline. Alright, so this is 𝔸𝕣𝕥, and it wouldn't be 𝔸𝕣𝕥. I keep calling it 𝔸𝕣𝕥. It's 𝔸𝕣𝕥. And some people would say, what's the difference? 𝔸𝕣𝕥 has tofu in it, usually a softer tofu, but honestly, 𝔸𝕣𝕥 also has tofu in it, but usually the firmer kind. So yeah, maybe that's why my brain is just like, you just want 𝔸𝕣𝕥, but you want it with tofu. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do a little pile of rice because it's not 𝔸𝕣𝕥 without a small pile of rice off to the side. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Pretty good trying to spend some time organizing that sort of thing. It also like helps a lot that I've been doing a lot of creative work in preparation for things, because it gives me better perspective on which direction to go. So for instance, like there's a lot of stuff out there that like I would have probably jumped at the chance to do if I didn't have a more experience with like making art myself for other projects. And so now I have a much more clear view of like the sorts of projects I think I would do really well in, because I realize like the more I try to kind of go in all directions is like sustainably very difficult to do. It also creates the sort of impression that you're not very professional either. So even though there's certain projects I would like to do, if I look at their theme or if I look at what's required or like eligibility stuff, I'm like, okay, this is probably not the best fit for me. I'd rather divert my attentions towards projects that I know I can do like really well in. So that's been like a really helpful thing to go through process-wise. Making a tiny bowl of rice. It's one of my favorite smells in the world is freshly cooked rice. I think it's actually probably my favorite smell. If it was ever made into a perfume or something, I would just wear the heck out of it. So yeah, I've been making time for myself to just relax and do things, see people, and I've also spent some time just watching TV. I've caught up on Ted Lasso on Apple TV. So good. Such a feel-good show. I'm also gonna try and read some books that have been on my to read forever. I'll share those in just a second. But you guys are now my accountability buddies, so once I think September rolls around, my reading list is going to shift into more of the usual horrors. I usually reread a lot of Lovecraftian short stories, and I have some new books in horror lately that I'm going to try and get around to reading. Oh yeah, and funny thing about the Necronomicon convention I just did is that, you know, I went into it with a lot of expectation that my horror stuff, like I don't have a ton of horror specific pieces except like 2 that I thought was like more of the horror genre than the others, which is my Jenny piece, which is based on the Green Ribbon, and my largest piece yet, which is based on the Mask of the Red Death by Poe. And those were like my 2 like official, I felt like, literary horror pieces. And neither of them sold. Neither of them sold at Necronomicon. All the other artwork I did that I felt like wasn't within the genre as much were like stand out, like people bought those in loads. And yeah, it was just really funny that the 2 pieces that I thought would do the most, or like gain the most traction, didn't gain any traction at all. Which is pretty funny. Alright, I'm gonna do the chopsticks as well. Can't really have all this food lying around if you don't have chopsticks. These lumps here, like, I know they're supposed to be tofu, but they kind of look like potatoes. But I can't really, like, draw them in a way where it could be more tofu-like. Alright, these chopsticks are a little wonky, but that's okay. My lines just wanna look a little wonk. But yeah, there we go. Alright, 𝔸𝕣𝕥. Okay, and there's the name off to the side. Okie doke. I'm going to take a look at what kind of food I can draw next. I'm actually kind of like, it's like mixed feelings, but I don't, pumpkin spice lattes are sort of a thing that I indulge in, but like once or twice a year. Like once I've had one, I'm kind of satiated, you know? Like I get really excited to have, you know what, I don't think I'll draw a pumpkin spice latte. I feel like it doesn't fall within the purview of this topic. I think I'd rather do a drink that I really love, which is actually a London fog. So for anyone who hasn't had a London fog, it's usually like a latte. It's like steamed milk mixed with Earl Grey tea, and Earl Grey is my favorite tea, and it's like steamed milk with Earl Grey tea. Sometimes they do a little foamy thing at the top. The place that I went to in Seattle a lot, there was a bakery nearby that did a great London fog, and I would get it all the time from them, and they would sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top. So yeah, that's probably my favorite drink. So I'm gonna draw a London fog, because that seems more proper than trying a pumpkin spice latte that I'm only excited about once a year. Okay. And they would put the London fog, I'm gonna draw the one that I know from the bakery that I went to, and I'm going to put it in the cup. They would give it to me in this like very tall, I guess in Starbucks terms, grande sized. Gosh, what was the name of that bakery? It's in the Ravenna area. So for anyone who is watching who's from Seattle, used to live in the Ravenna like neighborhood, which was not far from the University of Washington campus, and there was a bakery there. You know what? It's gonna really bother me, so I'm gonna look it up. I think they also changed their name. I think the name of the bakery has also changed, but if it's still there, I want you guys to go. Oh, was it Ravenna? Oh my god, I'm already forgetting. No, it was Ravenna. Okay, my memory hasn't completely failed me. Alright, bakery. What's the name? Oh, the original name for that bakery I just remembered is Sod House Bakery, which sounds kind of terrible, but it's great. Sod House Bakery was the original name. Oh no, it's not coming up on Google Maps, everyone. Wait, is it gone? Is it gone now? No, I hope it's not gone. Wait, I'm gonna try and find it. Sod House. It's not even coming up on the... Permanently closed! No! Oh, this is a terrible way to find out. No! That was my favorite bakery. Oh my god. I'm devastated. I'm actually really sad now. No! Oh my god. They had these like homemade Pop-Tarts where they made Pop-Tart like pastries from scratch, and they were so good. You can actually look them up right now and look at the photos. Oh my god. Wait, this was the bakery of the time I went to school there. Oh wait, this is making me really sad. No. I thought they would for sure would have been around forever. Well, I'm very sorry to recommend a place that's now closed down. All right, now we have to draw. Now we have to draw a London fog in memoriam to my favorite bakery in Seattle. Oh, that really bummed me out. Their pastries were so good. Why didn't they stay in business? Alright, that made me really sad, and now I need time to recover. Well, you know what? If anyone watches this in the VOD, if you want to recommend your favorite bakeries, do so in chat, please. Wherever you live. I would love to know what everyone's favorite bakery is. Mine used to be, if we were in Seattle, mine used to be in Sod House Bakery, but dang. Oh, and that was also a nice thing they did with their London fog, was that they had this Earl Grey with milk and cinnamon sprinkle, but also they had like a hint of like lavender. I'm not quite sure how I think it was like lavender infused Earl Grey, so it tasted like lavender, Earl Grey, and milk, and it just was so good. And I've had London fogs at different places now. It seems to be more of a West Coast thing. It's very hard to find on the East Coast, but I have had it here in New York City a couple of times, and somehow, for some reason, they all don't compare to the one in Seattle. And I think it's just because that one just like a duckling, I've just like, it left its impression on me, and therefore none of the others come close. Oh, maybe I should draw the Sod House Bakery logo on this cup. Oh, I'm really sad about my bakery, you guys. The food was great. I would always get drinks on the way home from school. Like, from there, I would stay in that cafe to do assignments and study. And now it's gone. Alright, so London Fog isn't the most like exciting looking drink either, so I'm just gonna, it kind of is just, I mean like it's just like a milky white foam on top usually. So I'm just gonna do that, but I'm gonna add some sprinkles for cinnamon, and I'm gonna add some lavender sprinkles to indicate that it's got some lavender in it. This is gonna be really hard to see. I mean, it's like authentic to the assignment I set where we're drawing our favorite foods, but all of my foods are apparently very pale, so it's kind of hard to see. My favorite foods and drinks are all pale. Like, look at this, tofu is pale, rice is pale. My favorite drink is pale. Alright, so they had like a little foamy top, and then I'm just gonna, instead of painting it, I'm gonna add like a hint of dusting for the cinnamon. Okay, which you can barely see on camera. Whoopsie. And then I'm gonna paint a little bit of the lavender as well, even though they didn't have like chunks of lavender floating in the drink, but just to indicate that it had that lavender essence flavor to it. There's someone outside. I live pretty high up in my building, and there's someone outside on the ground level laughing, and I can hear it all the way up from here. Alright, some lavender sprinkles. There we go. Barely dark enough for everyone to see. Alright, I'm gonna look up the Sod House Bakery logo and see if maybe I can draw that. Alright, this is their, I'm going to show you on here. This is their logo. It's like a little house. It's like a little house. Whoops. Gosh, you cannot see that because of the ring light. But yeah, it's got a little house. Oh, there we go. Now you can see it. I have to tilt it away from the camera. But yeah, it's a little house. It says Sod House Bakery, and it's in a big ring. So I'm gonna draw that. I'm gonna draw that. I'm gonna try drawing it with maybe a pencil rather than paint it. There's a bakery right by me that does a London Fog. I just haven't tried it yet. They always have a long line, and I don't want to wait in a line when I'm trying to get to work. But maybe I'll do it once September 1st rolls around, because then I'll indulge in my first London Fog. Nowadays I just make it at home. Like, I don't do the whole steamed milk thing. I usually just brew Earl Grey tea, and I just pour like milk into it and a little bit of honey. So I don't even go all out for it. I don't even know if that can be called a London Fog. Oh, the little house logo that they have is like a log. It's like a log cabin. It's really cute. Forgot about that logo. I'm gonna draw a little house. Oh, I'm gonna have to message my friend who I used to live with in Seattle, because they didn't go to, I don't think they went to this bakery as often as I did, but maybe something nice, maybe a replacement bakery has cropped up in the area. Alright, these letters are starting to get very cramped. It's because this pencil is so thick. There we go. Alright. Okay, Sod House Bakery. My favorite bakery. I'm sorry that you are no longer around. I loved your... Wow, misspelled London. I loved your London fogs, though, and your pastries. Everything they made was so good. But yeah. In tribute. Alright, now I have to think of another food item that I would eat. Ooh, I'm a big French fry person. I'm like huge on French fries. Yeah, I think I'll do French fries. And I usually do end up, it's funny because I usually end up getting a burger because I want the fries. Like I'm going out to a burger place or I'm at a restaurant and I choose to have a burger. It's because I'm usually in the mood for fries, which is pretty much all the time. So if anything, the burger is like an accessory to the fries for me. But it also, like, I don't know, is a good like comfort item if the fries aren't as good as I thought it would be. Actually, I end up talking about this quite a lot with my friends, and I think if I started like a blog earlier in the 2000s, I probably would have got into I probably would have done like a French fry review blog, genuinely, because when I go to places, I genuinely rate fries, and I will go back to places that do fries really well. So yeah, yeah, top fry places in the city. Gonna have to give it to, obviously, Pommes frites. Just shouldn't come as a surprise. It's Belgian style, and it's below Washington Square Park, and they have their original location, I think, burned down. And it used to be such a hole in the wall, and now it's moved to a slightly bigger space. And yeah, just like they make it fresh, you can get a ton of sauces on the side, although I prefer to have mine. I feel like a good fry should taste amazing on its own, and it doesn't need... If a fry only tastes good with sauce accompanied, then it's not a good French fry for me. So yeah, Belgian style, pommes frites. And they do like different styles of fries, but I usually just get the plain ones in a cone, and I get like a basic sauce or like even just ketchup. Surprising secondary, like a surprising level of fries from a restaurant that I wasn't expecting it to be like top tier fries was Burger and Lobster, which is a chain, I believe, and they have a location in New York City as well. But I remember I got burgers there because they only did 3. I think they do more now, but when I first went, it was just 3 entree items: a burger, a lobster, and a lobster roll. And I got the burger, and I remember getting the fries, and the fries were so good. So yeah, hopefully their recipe hasn't changed, or their chef hasn't changed, but their fries, burger and lobster fries, are pretty much up there for me. If you go and it doesn't taste great, I have to go back, because that was years ago, and I have to go back and like try it again to see if it still holds to the quality. McDonald's fries are like only good if you've had them right away. Like they go from like an 8 to 9 to like a 2 or a 3, depending on when you eat it. So if it's like immediate, if it just came out of the fryer and it's well salted, then yeah, top tier French fry. But the moment time passes, like half an hour, it is immediately like a 2 for me. Like I usually eat the French fries if I can immediately, but I also try not to eat at McDonald's anymore. Burger King fries though, still good. I have to go back and try Burger King nowadays because I haven't had Burger King fries in a while. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a burger and fries. I'm gonna draw a little burger and fry on the side, even though for me that's the main course. You know who has the worst fast food fry is Wendy's. I don't like Wendy's fries. I'm also very particular about the kind of fry I like. I like it golden. I like it. The ratio of surface area fried to soft interior has to be like the perfect amount. So like if you have a very thick cut fry or wedges, those aren't really like, those are just potato to me. It doesn't really taste like a French fry. And if it's not salted, then also like I would, if I have to salt, I mean like I don't mind salting it myself if it's undersalted, but if it's not salted at all, it's kind of like, what is this? I also don't love crinkle cut waffle. I don't like any of those. The only kind of fry that I like French fries and I like tater tots, and those are like the only two kinds of potato sides that I really like outside of just like straight up a potato dish. All right, let's draw a little burger. Burgers I have a much more like flexible opinion of. I feel like it's very hard to mess up a burger. I like it with, I usually like the smash burger style with a very, very flat patty, minimal stuff. Like, I don't think you need a lot to make if you need all these accoutrements, like I know that like having lettuce and tomato and onion and all that adds texture and is probably most likely healthier. I would be just fine with a smash burger with a smash patty, melted cheese, and maybe like, I don't know, diced onions, and that's like pretty much it. I usually also really love having a brioche bun. I feel like a brioche bun is like superior. I think burger wise, I mean we got like our Shake Shacks here, but I feel like at that price point Shake Shack is not worth it. I feel like the taste of Shake Shack is great. Their burgers are really up there. Fries, less so. But like their style of burger is like kind of my favorite, but I feel like it's not worth it at that price point. So I actually would recommend more 7th Street Burger. 7th Street Burger I feel like is a bit more, they're like a lower price range. It also feels more like fast foody. Like I feel like Shake Shack is trying to be sort of like, in order to justify their higher price point, trying to be a little bit more like a bougier fast food chain, and I think their food is A tier, but not to like that level. 7th Street Burger though, it feels real grimy. It feels like I'm eating a burger that's meant to be a burger. It's not got any like pretense to it. It's genuinely a heart attack waiting to happen sort of burger. Alright, and even though I said I don't want a burger with like a ton of accoutrements, I am adding accoutrements to my burger. Oh, hey, Eric. Yeah, we're talking about burgers. Yep, 7th Street Burger is a working man's burger. Yeah, I'm also not opposed to a Five Guys as well. I don't know. I think it's because their whole decorative, like, aesthetic is very dinery. I don't know, they just have a very fun aesthetic. They don't, although I'm taking points off because, Five Guys near me used to give you free peanuts. Like, we could just, when we ordered something, we would get we would be given like a brown bag, and like we could just grab whole handfuls of peanuts and just like snack on them. Kind of felt like a baseball stadium sort of thing. And yeah, I remember like I would snack on it while I was waiting for my food to arrive. And they don't do that anymore. Or maybe the ones in Manhattan don't do that anymore, and it kind of makes me like, well, I kind of miss that. Kind of miss having the free peanuts available. So yeah, I drew a little burger. It looks a bit like a, what's it called in SpongeBob? Something patty. Why am I blanking on the SpongeBob burger? There's a SpongeBob something patty. I'll remember it at some point. I am gonna draw fries though. The whole reason for me drawing this burger was so I could draw fries. Krabby Patty. Thank you, Eric. This looks like a very stereotypical Krabby Patty that I'm drawing. What are some of your favorite foods that you would, if it was like something that you could summon right now to eat and it had to be all of your favorite foods, what would they be? Mine would definitely be a mix of cuisines, like different country cuisines. Obviously the one that's most powerful to me is Korean food. Probably always will be. If I had to give up if I had to give up all cuisines to pick one cuisine, it would have to be Korean food. I think I can live with that choice. I'm not even gonna plate these fries. They're just gonna kind of float on the floor here next to the burger. It's very clear what they are, which is nice. They're just scattered. Ah, goldfish crackers. I'm trying to think of like a snack food. I guess French fries would count. I think I would definitely just eat tons and tons of French fries until I passed out. There's also like a question I would ask some of my friends where I was like, out of the three main sort of carbs cuisine wise, it's rice, rice, noodles, and bread, and you have to like cut out two of them and only have one for the rest of your life. Some people like, I think this question, like half of my friends answer like on the spot immediately. They know what they would choose pretty much before I even finish the question. And then the other half of people I've asked like really mull over it, like they're tortured by this question. So yeah, I would choose rice hands down over the other two. I think I can give up bread and I could give up noodles / pasta and have pretty much rice for the rest of my life. I think I'd be okay with that. Same thing with Korean cuisine. Like I would know that that's for me for the rest of my life. yeah, even though I very much love French fries, I think I would be able to give it up for rice and Korean food for the rest of my life. I also really love Japanese food. Rice is the most versatile, yeah. But I have had people choose bread. I have had a friend tell me bread once. So bread is probably like my least. If I couldn't choose rice, I would probably choose noodles next, and then bread would be my like third choice. Yeah, I also really love Japanese food, and yeah, I would totally eat like sushi. Yeah, I'd be fine with eating sushi for the rest of my life, along with Korean food, along with everything that has rice with it. Alright, what other food can I do? I'm gonna do... I guess I can do some form of sushi, but... Sushi is up there, but it's not like quite up there as with like some of the other foods that I could totally see myself eating. Because now that I've said Korean food, now I just really want like a bunch of Korean food. Okay, so there are Korean dishes that are like Chinese Korean fusion dishes, and some people may already know it, but if you ever go to Seoul, then like one of the dishes you have to have is 짜장면, which is black bean noodles, and it's basically like sometimes they're vegetarian, sometimes there's pork in it, but it's stir fried in a wok, and it's like a black bean sauce mixed with some oils, some vegetables like onion and zucchini with pork, and then they pour it over this like really thick, almost udon type of noodle, but it's slightly thinner and it's yellow, and you mix it all together, and it's like this like perfect dish of just like such a great like umami based sauce. So if you ever get a chance to have it, it's usually at Korean Chinese fusion restaurants. I think there's one in Flushing called 중국집, which literally means Chinese house, and they have jjajangmyeon there. But we've had it in Korea, and it's one of those, it's like the fast food item in Korea. It's got so many varieties to it. There's also one that has a white, we call it white jjajangmyeon, which is like, black bean sauce is very dark brown and dark, but then there's also a white sauce version of that, which is really good. It's more seafood based. And yeah, just like that hybrid of cuisines is such a good intersection of food. So I'm gonna have to draw jjajangmyeon. And with jjajangmyeon, you always get, if you are non-vegetarian, you always get 탕수육, which is deep fried pork in these like little chunks, and it comes with like a sweet and sour sauce, and you pour that sauce, or you dip it in that sauce, and so good. It's like a crispy texture. It's kind of the opposite of the noodles, so it gives you this good balance between the two, and I feel like that's like a really good, it's such a good dish. Jjajangmyeon in Korea it's like everywhere, and it's the food to get when you're hungry. It's usually affordable as well, so it's kind of like a very accessible food and meal item, and you can get it like delivered anywhere. It's become a thing where like if you're anywhere in the country, you can basically call up a jjajangmyeon house and have them deliver it to you. Like I've had people tell me that you can be out like in a park or under a bridge, and as long as you can, I guess maybe like there is some like tracking involved, but for the most part, like the jjajangmyeon delivery guy will find you. So you can pretty much get food delivered to you anywhere. Yeah, but black bean noodle sauce, so good. Yeah, and usually the sauce is either like separated or like it's in its own container, or it's like left on top and you have to mix it yourself. So I'm drawing 𝔸𝕤𝕚, but it kind of looks like tiramisu right now, which is also something that's really good. Alright, I'm gonna delineate these noodles. It's just a big white blob at the moment, but they're usually served in sort of a, usually like a large white like plastic bowl, I want to say. Or maybe it's like a very light ceramic. I don't know, like something of IKEA variety. But yeah, they usually, well, at least when I lived in Korea, they serve it in these like pretty hefty bowls. And I remember them being white, so. Alright, the bowl's a little wonky. It's okay, I'll shade it in and maybe that'll make it look better. Wow, I really am choosing like the palest food items. It's just like the hardest items to see on camera. Is there a way that I could just like... I just tinker with the camera a little bit. There we go. Alright, so the light isn't like directly on it. The ring light just sort of washes everything out. Also thinking, give me 1 second. I'm gonna just tinker a little bit. Here we go. Alright, this noodle section that I drew, I used too much water and now it's taking forever to dry. So while we wait for that to dry, maybe I can think about another dish I can draw. I love eating. I don't know why I'm having such trouble thinking. I guess Korean barbecue, but that just sort of is... I feel like I want to draw... Like I said, I want to celebrate Korean food quite a lot because that is my comfort food. I also really love food that's like of the Thanksgiving variety. So a lot of the food that I make during Thanksgiving or I have with family and friends is usually really good as well. like, I would make Brussels sprouts with bacon. Actually, that's a good one. I should draw that. Yeah, that is one of my favorite like things to make during Thanksgiving, and also just in general. I also make these like glazed carrots that have sort of a brown sugar glaze on top of like carrots, and it would taste so good. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do Brussels sprouts because that is my favorite. That is technically my favorite vegetable. Sweets wise, very picky about my sweets. It's also very like inconsistent. Oh, have a good one, Eric. I'll have to check out your picture on Discord. Thanks for sending those onto the Discord. Let's take a look. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Oh, we've got some good goldfish cracker pictures. Oh, nice. Wow, there's like a realistic one, there's a crazy big one, and then there's just you eating them. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Eric. Goldfish crackers. Yeah, I haven't had goldfish crackers in a long time. Let's see. I'm gonna finish this like earthenware bowl that I have that I usually prep my Brussels sprouts into. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna do the Brussels sprouts and bacon, but I think I also need to do like a sort of Korean style multiple entree, we call it banchan, like side dishes, because usually if you go to a traditional restaurant or you eat with a Korean family, it's usually customary that we have a bowl of rice, sort of a couple of entree points, but also we just have tons of little like dishes that have a variety of sort of appetizers off to the side. It's like one of those things that I grew up with understanding cuisine to be, is like it's heavily communal, meant for sharing, because so much of Korean cuisine is meant to be eaten together with a big group, and you share food items. Even if you're eating by yourself, you would have sometimes multiple banchan off to the side. So that's always like a thing that I grew up with. So I know that culturally that's like a very strong cultural thing for many Asian countries and other countries. So it's a little bit strange whenever I eat meals that are just like for me. I'm just so used to sharing meals. Family style, that's the word that you would hear a lot. Yeah, but in terms of like sweets though, I'm very picky about my sweets. It's also very inconsistent, like what I end up liking sweet-wise. Because I feel like my sweet tooth is just, it's either here or it's not. It's like when it's there, I crave it, and when it's not there, I could live without sugar for quite a while. I think I'm more of a salty person. I think I prefer to have salty foods rather than sweet foods more of the time. Alright, there's a big pile of Brussels sprouts happening here. And then I'll go back. It's gonna have to dry, so I'll go back and take care of that in just a minute. I'm gonna go back to this 𝔸𝕤𝕚 that I was doing. I recently got like my friends to start watching a cooking show, the Korean cooking show Culinary Class War, and there's 2 seasons of it on Netflix, and I really recommend it for anyone who loves like cooking competitions of the international variety. I think there's been a lot of memes made off of the Culinary Class War already, just because it was like so many of the challenges were just so unique to the show. It also catapulted a lot of those chefs who participated into the public eye. And I was watching an interview for one of the chefs, one of the white chefs, white spoon chefs, and he was saying how the popularity of the show like created an enormous wait list for a lot of the restaurant owners. So a lot of the chefs who participated have their own restaurants, and he said that like basically he now has, whereas before his business was struggling, he now has an enormous wait list for his restaurant back when he was on the show. Okay, I'm adding these little lines to indicate that these are noodles. This section is a little bit wet still, so it's not showing as easily, but that's okay. Alright, and then I'm going to put a little bit of greenery on top. Usually there's like a bit of scallion. I wish I had like a white, but I think it's still too wet for me to use color pencil. But yeah, I would add a little bit of white as well to indicate that there's onion in there. I'm gonna give these metal chopsticks off to the side. Alright. I actually might draw a little bit of that 𝔸𝕤𝕥 I mentioned, which is that deep fried pork. Sometimes it's also chicken. You can get chicken as well, but I prefer to get the pork variety. It's usually like a sort of a light yellow golden color from all the frying that happens. And yeah, they would have the sauce off to the side, just like a big pile of meat essentially. I have to like make a list for the movies I want to watch this fall. My friend is organizing an Over the Garden Wall watch party, I believe. So mixed in with like crafting. So I'm definitely going to do that. Over the Garden Wall is sort of tradition at this point to watch every year around this time. But I have to like make a list of some scary movies I would want to watch this season. I think, yeah, speaking of movies, I just watched The Devil Wears Prada 2 with my partner. It was available for streaming. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It felt very much mixed messages. Like I mean, I'm sorry if you haven't seen it yet. I will leave you to make your own judgments. But I personally felt like it was very confused in what it was trying to say. It also felt very confused on who, like, the antagonist was. I don't know, because every time I watch Devil Wears Prada, the antagonist to me feels like Miranda, like played by, oh my god, I'm like totally blanking on her name. Oh my god, wow, my brain is like, has shut down on names apparently. Well, now I'm gonna have to frickin' look it up. Meryl Streep. Wow. Cannot believe I forgot her name. Yeah, but to me, every time I watch these movies, the real villain seems to be Meryl Streep's character, Miranda. Like, she is a temperamental, abusive boss with unrealistic demands, never pleased or hard to please, and I don't know, just like a ridiculous level of expectation from her employees. I don't know, it was just like kind of such a weird thing to see so many people like grovel over her, when it just feels like, I don't know, she doesn't seem like a great boss to work for. I feel like there's a lot of movies try very hard to be like very much in her corner, sympathetic to her plight. And I don't know, I feel like maybe she should just be a nicer person. She also promotes an extremely unhealthy working lifestyle. Like, she's like, I love working, but I have so many regrets. Like, I know that I haven't spent that much time with my children, or she's had marital problems all her life. And it's just kind of like, yeah, because I don't think you have good work-life balance. And I think, I don't know, I personally thought the movie was trying very hard to make you sympathetic for her plight because she's girl bossing it and she commands a high level of respect, which is good. But it also was at the expense of everyone else's happiness and everyone else's healthy life balance. And it just kind of was like a little bit like, okay, I think there are labor laws against that sort of thing, and a lot of times the characters are like, just suck it up, like so many women, so many people would kill to have this job, blah 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 blah. I'm like, that really sucks though, you know, like we're kind of brainwashed into thinking like this is the opportunity of a lifetime, and if you don't hold up to it, then you're just kind of like, you'll fall by the wayside. I don't know, it just felt like very much a very toxic workplace, and definitely not an environment that made me like empathetic. Alright, so the 𝔸𝕤𝕥 looks a little strange to say the least, but that's because it's just a big lump of fried stuff. I am gonna add some like lines to it so it looks a little bit more like proper food. That's the red sauce off to the side would usually be a bit clear, and it's also a little bit more amber in color, not really this like red tone. And it would be the sweet and sour sauce that you would dip into. This makes me really sad that there isn't this level of, like, if I was in Korea right now, I could literally just call up a place and just say I want jjajangmyeon, and it would be delivered within like 15 minutes. And there just isn't that level of food culture here. One of the great benefits of living in a major city like New York City is like, sure, food is accessible most of the time. Like most of the day I could go out and find a place that's still open really late, and I can get a bunch of food for if I'm too tired to cook. So there is the benefit of that. But it is so incomprehensibly different from how Asia treats food culture. Asian night markets is such a thing. It's like a huge, almost like a festival vibe sometimes. You can get literally anyone eating at any time. It could be college kids studying for exams and they just want a break. It could be businessmen who are having like a meeting while also simultaneously team building. You can get like groups of friends who are just all out together to get drunk. And it's just such a different vibe. It's very much, and there's like people working late into the night to serve what the majority of Asian communities are, which is like night owl people, like very much catered to nightlife. And it's just it's so vibrant at night, a lot of these cities. And yeah, it can be overstimulating and it can be a lot, but it's just so readily available as opposed to here, which is like not that level of community and camaraderie when you go out to like enjoy things. So I do miss that quite a lot. Alright, I'm gonna write the name here. 짜장면. That's the name for black bean noodles. And 탕수육. Just like fried pork with sauce. Alright, I'm gonna draw these Brussels sprouts with bacon, and I think I'm gonna say that that's my little feast. This is actually a really good amount of food that I would totally eat. This is actually a weird combo of things that I would genuinely enjoy. Yeah, but is anyone else excited for... Ooh, too much water. Is anyone else excited for September to roll around. I'm very excited for the cooling of the season. It was very hot this year. I'm drawing these Brussels sprouts and they're looking like little tennis balls. I do love Brussels sprouts quite a lot. I think it's my favorite vegetable. Gosh, if I were ever go vegetarian, I would just stock up on tofu and Brussels sprouts. I think that would be like my favorite combo of food to eat all the time. Maybe not together, but like some form of a meal would encompass those two items. Alright, look at these little... Wow, the picture on stream looks a bit crazy. It does look a little crazy in person. I did too much line work. Should have left some to the imagination. Alright, I'm just going to throw around some pink spots to represent the bacon. It's like one of my favorite dishes to make during Thanksgiving. You know what's also just like really good on its own that I would just make in a moment if I didn't have much time? It would be just spam and tofu. Spam and tofu with rice. Like that's oftentimes like one of my favorite things to just make. Alright, I did some bacon bits, so Brussels sprouts and bacon. And that is my feast, everyone. I've got my full menu here. It is tofu jjigae or 두부찌개, which is spicy, and it's got lots of kimchi and tofu in it, and it's excellent with a pair of rice. With a pot of rice, I mean. We've got Brussels sprouts and bacon, something I traditionally make during Thanksgiving, and it's just so good. The combo of flavor between the two is like amazing, and it's so easy to make. So if you find a recipe online, just follow it, and it'll be really good. Another Korean dish is 𝔸𝕤𝕥, which is black bean noodles, with a side of 탕수육, which is fried pork with some sweet and sour sauce off to the side, and it's really good. The textural difference, that's like a huge meal too, so you'll definitely be like super full afterwards. Burger and fries, mostly because I love fries, and yeah, if I get a burger set, then it's usually just to see how the fries taste. And then the center is my favorite drink that I like to have on off days, regular days, but it's a London Fog, and yeah, that's usually what I would get if I were to spend money at a cafe. So yeah, this is my favorite foods. I'd love to see your favorite foods, or at least some drawings of some of your favorite foods. I have a Discord down in my description for every video, so you can join, and we have some of our members sharing their pictures on there, so you can always do that. And yeah, I would like to have more streams for next month. August was sort of a truncated schedule because of the market I was doing, but I think, yeah, we're jumping right into September with some new topics and new categories, and we're gonna probably go back to that where we have a reference photo and we all work on it together. But I'm still kind of throwing around different ideas, so there might be some experimental ones in there, and I'll be uploading the September schedule during the first week so that we can jump right in. But yeah, we're already less than a week until, yeah, September 1st arrives. So I'm so glad all of you have shared these August streams with me and July streams with me. So many of you have been very lovely in the comments. Thank you very much, and in chat. Before I go, I forgot that I was going to share the books that I've been reading. I'm going to be reading. So this one I picked up a while ago, but I think I'm properly going to have time to read it. It's the Korean Myths, which is a bunch of like folk tales, figures of historical and storytelling influence, and I think it'll just help me kind of get some of the historical knowledge of art along with art history and sort of the folklore of the Korean people, which is very important to me. So yeah, this is one that I'm probably going to take a lot of notes on. And then this has been on my to be read list forever. Lots of people. It's an old story. It's 𝔸𝕣𝕥 by Susanna Clarke. I think some people have read this like back in like elementary and high school, so it's been around a while, but I haven't had a chance to read it, and it was at my friend's library and they let me borrow it, so I'm gonna finally read 𝔸𝕣𝕥, and I'm really excited about it. It looks like it'll be an easy read. So yeah, those are the two books I'll be reading these upcoming weeks. And then yeah, I'll have the schedule ready for you guys the first week of September, and then we'll jump into some new categories together. Thanks for coming by, you guys. Hopefully you can share some of the images on our Discord, but I will otherwise see you next week. Good night.